I see a red light. Does that mean anything? No. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to call this February 12th, 2024 meeting of the Snohomish County Fire District 4 Board of Commissioners to order. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate being here. Please stand and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please let the record show that all three commissioners are here and we have a quorum. Do either of you have any changes or additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda? None. If not, that agenda stands as presented. We have minutes from 3 meetings that we need to take care of. The regular meeting on January 8th, and then 2 special meetings on January 10th and January 22nd. Those minutes were distributed. Any changes, corrections, additions, deletions? No. Is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Okay. They are approved and approved. Now is the time where members of the public may address the commission. We ask that you limit your time to 3 minutes. If you have any concerns or questions you want to bring up. Anyone?
Is this different than when we actually get to an item?
Yes.
Can the public still talk at that time or not?
Yes.
Okay, because I know we did in the past. We asked questions of those present, so I was just wondering if that's how you're going to operate here. So
we will allow those questions.
Okay. So I have a couple later on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Were there any that were submitted online or in writing? Okay. Moving right along, old business. We have a bid that was submitted for taking care of asbestos down at the Pine Avenue property. This is something that came up after the fact, so to speak. We had contractors in and had taken a look at it previously and had told us there was anything there, and then surprise, guess what? There is. Anyway, we have a bid from Faber Construction for just shy of $45,000, I think. And let me see, just to make sure, yeah. So any discussion or questions on that?
I thought it was interesting. The federal limit on asbestos, anything over 1% by, I don't remember what the measurement is, but the readings that they were found were just 2 and 3%, which is like so close but we have to follow the federal guidelines to take care of that material, which is the right thing to do. So it's a shame.
Yeah, I won't go into more stories, but yes, it is. It's we need to take care of it appropriately.
Yep.
So, is there consensus to move forward with this? Yes.
Yes, especially considering the fact that they're going to have the Traco available during the burns, I guess it is. That's probably
Yeah, that's kind of an added benefit.
That's a real added benefit for doing that, because equipment costs and operator costs can run up in a hurry if we had to have one there. So.
All right, so
we have a motion.
I move that we accept the bid as listed there.
okay. All in favor? Aye. Sorry, didn't know that.
Yeah,
I assumed it was tacked onto the.
it is, but give me authority, because we're increasing the amount, I don't have the authority.
So do you need that motion, actual number, dollar amount?
No, if you just take the bid, that's good enough. I just need clear direction that you allow me to spend. So you said accept the bid, that's.
Accept the bid. Let's do it.
Moving on to informational items, the warrants and payrolls were submitted to you. Any questions or comments, concerns about those? Good job, Chief. Thank you for your continued diligence in those. Moving on to new business. Excuse me while I update this. Technology of it. Apparently we have too much stuff. And we need to get rid of some stuff. Yes. So it looks like what, a single vehicle and some hose.
Some hose, some single vehicle, and some metal cabinets.
Okay. So my question is, why could we not figure out a way to give this hose to the training consortium that could use it, right? What? I don't understand.
The simplest way for us is to surplus it, allow the training consortium to know it's available if they want to bid on it. I'm sure they get it for cheap, but if we give it to anybody, we still technically have to track it, and we don't, because we still own it. We can't. So that's our understanding. We didn't want to have to mess with tracking.
So
in the dumpster, not the
so that's the thing. So we already give it to them, but if we give it to them, they own the access. They said, "Whoa, we don't want to track it either." So we said, "We don't want to track it. You take it." They said, "No, we don't want to track it. We don't want to take it." But if we surplus it and nobody gets it, then we can't give it to them, and they don't have to track it.
And we don't.
So if we surplus it and nobody bids on it, then we don't have to track it. We can give it to them. They don't have to track it. If we give it to them and they're not going to bid, they have to track it. And they said, "No, we don't want to track
We
it."
have a label that's untrackable.
Right. So then our record shows that we've got rid of it and we're clean. And so it wasn't just us not going to track it. We tried to give it to them and they said, "No, we don't want to track it either." So then it was just, and then we got to the point like we just got to surplus it.
So when you say tracking it, is that under state auditor?
Yeah, small contracted items, state auditor, assets.
Yeah, we didn't want to be in the business of calling the academy and saying how much of that hose that we gave you do you still have.
What are the numbers?
Yeah, give me the numbers that are left.
So we tried to work it from several angles to do that, and it came down to, we can do this, but you have to track it. They said they're not interested in tracking it, because things at the academy, they're going to wear through them quick, and the instructor's going to throw it in the dumpster. They're not going to record the number. They're not going to know that's just regular hose. So the easiest was to surplus it.
And I guess to back up, because there is no academy agency, so we would have to give it to North County.
Yeah.
Right, so then they're like, wait a second, right, so because there is no government agency of the academy, so all we can do is give it to another participating agency, then it would be their responsibility, so
All right.
our hope is.
So we'll just hope nobody bids on it, and then we can give it to them anyway.
Exactly.
Okay. Perfect. Sorry. So we have a resolution 566 that we need to adopt to get rid of all of our surplus stuff.
Yes, please.
Right.
All right.
Is there a motion for that?
I got a motion to adopt resolution 565 as presented.
560, what, 6? Is that what it is?
565.
565.
Oh, mine says 66.
Staff, it says recommendations, adopt resolution 565, and then it says materials and clothes 566.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's
there's
566.
566.
It is. I'm just.
Resolution 566 as presented. We will make that.
Okay, now that we got that.
There we go.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's adopted. And well, I guess this next one's on me. Inter-board strategic discussions, that's a fancy word. It's basically future planning. The board is interested in having discussions with other commissioners around the county to talk about what fire service is going to look like in the future. And we're not talking about 5 years from now. That's kind of normal planning these days. You know, your budget and everything's looking forward 5 years. We want to look 25 years. And what's it going to look like? You know, if you think back, in 1990, if some fire chief and a couple of commissioners would have said, hey, what do you think fire service is going to look like in Snohomish County in the year 2020? I'm guessing it would have looked a little different than it is right now. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but probably different. And I think it's incumbent upon us as elected officials to make sure that we aren't those people that look back and say, why didn't they put light rail down the middle of I-5 when they built it? You know, it's that kind of stuff. We don't want to be those people that they look back and say, well, why didn't they think of that? So we're going to see if we can't get that ball rolling. And we've written a letter, and we want to send it out to, and let's talk about this for a minute to make sure that these are the places that we want it to go. Getchell, Lake Rossford, Granite Falls, Sultan, Surfer, and South County. We kind of left off Everett and Marysville for now in North County because they're a little bit out of the planning for what we're thinking about. Although they could ultimately become part of it, you know, if it becomes this full county-wide thing. But, sir.
Yeah, that was my thought on the thing too. If you're thinking 25 years out, maybe some representation from Everett or Marysville might be appropriate for this area here.
And not only those fire, and I know that we're not supposed to get into discussions with the audience, but you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Not only for those fire agencies, but ultimately, I think, with county council to talk about it, because it's a county thing. You know, it's not just a whole bunch of individual fire districts. We're providing fire service for all of Snohomish County, and we need to be figuring out how to do that as a whole in the future.
We all do the same job. It doesn't matter who on that list. We all do the same exact thing. It's repetitive, only the way it's been built up, it's been individual areas of
Piecemeal.
I got my program, this is how I do it. I've got my program, this is how I do it. I got my program, this is how I do it. But in reality, every program is the same. Go out and do 8 calls. Everybody in the county is probably 60% or higher on 8 calls. And then we have fire responses, and then the oddball, whatever else that we get. So it's all the same for everybody. So let's look at it that way and see how we can make everybody more efficient, not just one area. Everybody, and into the future. Like Brian said, you know, when they built I-5, if they would have even just set aside the land for light rail when they built I-5, the cost savings would have been millions and millions and millions of dollars. So there's a lot of potential there. So it's well worth looking at and talking to the other folks in the area about it.
Further comments? No?
Specifically, you want to put together like pro meetings, is that what you're actually respond to us?
Yeah. And I'm hoping that we can do this with a single representative from us, so that we don't have to have a meeting, right? With the other boards that are larger, they can send 2 or 3 people, right? But to just have an initial meeting, get together, lay out what our thoughts are. Chief Waller has sent kind of briefing letters to fire chiefs from these districts, right?
Just basically a simple letter, that we're gonna send them a letter with, and ask for the address, so very, very basic, that we're gonna send them a letter asking to get together, that was as much as I read.
So yeah, the plan would be then to have a meeting.
I think, my recommendation is that we do call for a meeting. I mean, I don't think either way we're gonna be meeting somewhere, with this group. I think there's power members that all 3 of us could be there in the meetings.
Okay, well,
I mean,
I can do that.
Yeah, I just don't think that'd be that big a deal for us to, I'm sure there might be a couple of the other agencies that probably not team. Maybe all of them meeting in discussion.
Okay. We can make that happen. I don't think we need to change the letter at all to make.
No, it's just gonna make it a little logistically more challenging, because if we bring a quorum, they might all have to, so all of us trying to get special meetings and locations, and it's not impossible, I'm saying it might take a little longer to set up that meeting.
But there also might just be 3 people on that list at the end, it's, who knows who else to even partake in it.
Yeah, absolutely, all I said is that having full boards from all these will make it logistically more challenging.
Yeah.
Well, they
They said that they could have 3, but a lot of them can have 3, they South County and Silver can have 3, and I don't know what the other boards look like when it comes to that list, but.
I'm not arguing for it, I'm just making a statement that
Yep.
it'll become a little bit more challenging.
I'd say at least for the first maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then we're gonna talk about how we want to proceed forward.
Is there consensus to send a letter?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Do we want to add anybody or leave it at that?
Yeah, start with this, and maybe when we talk to this group of folks, to talk about, Everett, and see if we want to.
Montiel,
Yeah.
But this felt to us that had the most affinity, I think, to the way that we're operating and working. It might have better traction than trying to start with Everett,
This is a good start to begin with.
And I would suggest, ask that we schedule the first meeting after we get our tax repairs, so that we can offer the place.
Yes.
That way we don't have to find somebody else that
I
goes.
agree.
And depending on the schedule of
It's
some of
probably
these
going to take that
districts,
long anyways.
yeah, it should take them that long to figure out what they want to do to be back in something. Okay, good. Moving on, speaking of the training annex, we have purchase authorizations for the emergency repair, or remediation, I guess it's called, and then the actual repairs. Any questions or discussions on any of that? Oh, okay. We got one at the 11th hour or something that came in, right? But it was quite a bit.
Yeah, so we have, the estimator figured 49,000, our lowest bid was 50, so they adjusted their payment to that to match our lowest bid, and a 73 and a 135.
Okay. All right, and if we pull the trigger, when are they going to start?
I would imagine by the end of this week.
Oh,
So we've been in contact with all 3 bidders, so they're eager to go.
skill saws and hammers soon.
Yes.
Did
Yep.
they have an estimate as to when it will be complete?
Minimum 4 weeks. So other than that, I don't know. And
I got to tell you, I was shocked at the cost of the carpet.
yes, so was I. Chief will tell you. I couldn't believe it.
Holy moly.
Can we polish the concrete?
Not a bad thought.
Terrazzo polished with a few throwaways.
Yeah.
We actually talked about polishing the concrete, we were gonna suggest that, and then we talked through the acoustics, it was bad enough in there already, that we thought taking the carpet out would probably just move the edge.
Yes.
And I don't know what kind of insulation is under that cement, it's just poured right on top of gravel.
Yeah.
Could be a pretty cold floor.
So we are looking at purchase authorization 2024.044808 up to $29,750. Is that what it is? And then purchase authorization 2024-06-6202 up to $55,000 for repairs. Or your motion for both of those?
Move to approve both.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that passes. Go forth and
Thank you.
prosper.
Thank you.
Keep Osborne, let's get this thing rolling. Next. Sorry, got a page down. Hiring an HR consultant. Got a couple of companies, well, three were actually contacted. One basically said they don't really do anything for people unless you want to be our client, and that's going to cost $1 million an hour. We opted out of that one. But there are two, Archbright and All Things HR, kind of catchy name. And their bids are pretty close. One is $7,800 for one person, $10,000 and change for two. And the other is, they gave a range for one and two, but they're pretty close. Any discussion on that from either commissioner?
I took the time to look at at least the websites of both of those organizations, and my preference would be the All Things HR out of Linwood, because they're a little more, they're a smaller office. Archbright seems to be a fairly large, or I'll call it industrial HR type scenario, and I think for our needs, but the smaller one, which is local and local, I like it because it's local people also. Would probably suit our needs just fine for what we actually require. So
Yeah, I guess I just have a question for the chief. Why, I mean, I kind of saw your reasoning, but why use an HR firm at this point versus the last however many people we hired?
Yeah, two things, we're all really busy right now, and so it's not our normal thing to hire open recruitment for admin people, so it'd be nice just to have the help, because we're all just very busy, that's why we're asking for more people. And then two, just getting a relationship with somebody to see how they do for future things. This is kind of an easy one, a layup, a softball, and then we can see how they are. So if something complicated, these people do investigations and trainings and all kinds of things that we could potentially need. And so it'd be nice to have a relationship with somebody when something more complicated and complex comes, that we either help that we feel comfortable with.
it does save us from when state and federal guidelines change for employees and employment and all of the other things around that. Having somebody who's already well versed in those new guidelines as they come out make life a lot easier, because they can be pretty detailed and pretty fine. So having an HR person at your side who's familiar with those things as they change, and they will keep us out of trouble.
And
that saves us time.
And it's not usually something we couldn't do it. I mean, this is not something outside of any of our expertise. We used to have 2 3/4 people in the office, and we tried to go the last 18 months with 2, and it's got us behind a little bit. So this would just help some relief of that instead of piling on. But then it also helps to evaluate them on something that's pretty easy for us to know if they're doing a good job. Like they're not going to be doing anything that's not well within our wheelhouse, so we can easily tell what we think of their work product.
Are either of these companies, or are both of them, willing to use our existing people as part of the process?
Yep.
Whether it be Thad or Christy or Sam?
Yeah, so what I told them is basically what I wanted them to do. These quotes are there to do the workforce part of it. So they're not doing the interviews or that. They're doing the evaluating all the applications to make sure they're completed and they meet the minimum standards. They're doing the background checks. They're setting up the interview. We still have the interview panel, but they're setting up with the clients, setting up the schedule and making all the phone calls to make sure that they come and doing emails. And so that's what we do with firing. And it's just a lot of really labor-intensive work. It's not complicated at all. So that's why we do it. But again, it's just I would have to basically take somebody off of all the things they're doing and say, now spend the time doing all this really labor-intensive work. And so the thing that they bring that we probably don't have is this is the kind of position they recruit for all the time. We hardly ever recruit for this position. So the one thing that they will help us with is just knowing how to get this out and where to get it out to. But other than that, no, we'll still be making all the decisions of doing everything. They're just doing the, I guess, lack of a better word, the grunt work behind the scenes.
Any questions?
Is it possible to ask them if we can try to keep the candidates local, or that is this going to be like a nationwide search for someone that qualifies for the job?
No, they'll do whatever we want. And so what I've been trying to do is, I've asked most of the people here to start spreading the word here, and I've been telling all the groups I know that have it. And so what we're trying to do is get the recruitment out locally to get it in, but I'm not going to ask them to recruit nationally. I don't think this is a position we qualify for that. So they're going to recruit locally. But our goal, I think, as an organization is to get the word out to all the people we know to make sure they're putting their applications in that process. And then again, we have to finally say which people we go to interview, which people we interview, who we select, but we still have all of that. They're just helping us get the word in the normal circles around here.
Osborne, maybe you could have the Explorers get a nice help wanted sign and just put it out front.
We could do that. We could do that. Yes.
We've already had 2 or 3 people that have shown interest locally.
Yes.
And that we're
Yeah, a lot.
yeah.
So many times word of mouth can be the best for advertisement for even positions like this, because I know Chief Osborne and I know his skills and talent level is, and I think he'd be a great fit for that. So hey, apply. That kind of works.
In our small team, I would rather, if I can find somebody that
I'm gonna work rehired.
we
Thank
can
you.
collect it. I think that's more impactful to know what we're getting than the piece of paper that might look really good and we have no idea what the person is. So that's still our goal, is to find people that we as a large community know and are comfortable with.
Yeah. So this. Do you have a preference for which company?
What was Craig's recommendation?
That all things are.
They were roughly around the same cost. Yeah, I'm okay with that one, with his recommendation.
So can we specify?
Yeah, so
That one?
Yep, and then so I put 11,000 in the thing, but I can either tell them they only have 11,000 because their high end was higher, or you can change the high end to match their high end. That's up to you guys. But yeah, you can pick which one, and I'm good with both. I think they're all great for us.
Yeah, because their range was up to 13.9 for 2 people. So maybe we should,
Well, since, yeah,
should we
let's make it to 11.
stay at 11
Stay at 11.
and tell them that's on the budget?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's your budget.
All right.
That's what another price we got from somebody else was,
So then do we need to make a change on here, chief, or do we just know that we're gonna select the single? Because the vendor name, it says Archright or All Things HR.
Yeah, so we'll just, when you sign it, we'll just cross it out,
Okay.
because I didn't know which way you would think, so
All right,
I was
all
gonna
right.
make it, and so we'll just
So we'll
cross it
just
out.
leave it. So is there a motion to approve purchase authorization 2024.03.416? Where do those numbers come from? What is all of that? Is that?
Thad?
We gotta be able to track these things. You can break it down.
1, 2,
I will
3.
beautifully read those numbers, just the
The
Christie.
year, so 24 is the year.
Okay.
03 is the purchase off within the year, and then 4172 is the line.
So,
Oh, the budget line.
Yeah.
so you could stop at 24, the first 2 and then the next 2, you could stop there, because there's only 21, 2403, the rest is really for our internal tracking, so if you just call 2403, 2401, 2405, then we would be good. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I will only put those numbers in the executive summary from now on.
So, sorry, I got distracted.
I'll try to make a movement then.
Thank you.
We,
Have to read it again.
we authorize all things HR for up to $11,000.
And I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. All right. Now we get to talk about bunker gear. And I have to say, it baffles me how we have to have 90 pages in the packet. 90 pages to approve bunker gear. Really? Anyway, it looks like Sea Western has submitted the appropriate bid, and is there any discussion on that? I was just shocked at the cost.
Yeah.
Back in the day when it was $300 and you were out there.
If you want in the future, I mean, we'll keep it all on the paper, but in the packet, I can only put Snur's letter.
It's fine.
Okay.
Just ranting. Any discussion on that? What's the lead time, Chief?
On this one, I don't know. Daryl Heike is our PPE guy, so he comes and talks to me once in a while with NFPA standards, but the rest is his. So I'm sorry, I don't know that.
I think I would answer that. I just got it ready, said it's like 3 months.
3 months, okay.
Might even be 14 months, but,
Well, that's better than 4 years.
Yes, it is better than 4 years, but yeah, 3 months sounds reasonable, especially if it's custom fitted and
27 sets, yeah.
made.
Are we in dire need? Do we need it faster than 3 months, or?
No, I would say no with that. Daryl has dates for all of us and all of our bunker gear. Everybody has 2 sets. Yes, yep. So he keeps up on that very well.
What is the life cycle of gear these days?
10 years, whether it sits on the shelf and is never used or if it's
10 years,
distributed.
10 fires. Right?
Yeah, 10 years, 10 fires, but
So-
10 years is the mark.
And, no, I would say, not all, but I would say 90% of our gear lasts 10 years, so it
Yes.
ages out in 10 years, and we don't typically ruin them before that. So
Yeah.
we just pretty much count on 10 years, and then every once in a while, we only get 7 out of 1, but it's not true. That's
Kind of like tires on an RV, you never wear them until they age.
Yes, they age out, exactly.
Daryl does a good job getting that year-end inspected and repaired too, so it's a
Yeah.
lot. They catch small things before they come big.
Yep.
Cool. Did we?
No, was there,
No,
I don't think there was a motion.
we didn't do a motion yet. Hold on. I get to read that number again. 2024.02.
I make a motion that we approve 2024.02 as listed for estimated cost of
A bunch.
$96,000.
Yeah, I think we suggested we go with all 98 just in case sometimes there's little changes and we don't want to.
98,000,
Up to.
up to 98.
A second, all those in favor?
Aye.
That authorization is approved. As we were reading through policies and resolutions, it came to our attention that there are a couple that are no longer applicable. They were created initially in response to proclamation from the governor about COVID vaccinations, and that went away in October of 22, I think. And we found that we still have Resolution 535 and Policy 528 on the books that we are going to rescind and get rid of. So, any discussion on those? Gentlemen?
I agree.
No, I agree. Okay, so the new resolution then is 567.
Alright, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 567 and rescind 535.
Yeah, I agree.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Done. And we as a board have a responsibility to approve large expenditures. Now, at my house, a large expenditure is anything over about $15, but here it's $107,183 for insurance.
Is that full coverage?
Yeah, that's full. That covers definitely, and oh, that's the increase for the end.
And that, seriously, that is all of our coverages, right?
Yes.
That's,
Tort and everything?
yes, that's our vehicles, our buildings. It seems like there was one one that's not that, but it's all of our liabilities, our tort, our finance fiduciary for us.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like there's something else out there, but now I can't think of what.
Have we shopped around?
No, that's been our list for the last 2 years.
To-do list.
I mean, I have no idea.
They assure us they're competitive.
There's only about, we're running companies out there, AWC, all Washington cities,
Yeah.
VFIS, and those are both kind of, VFS is a company, but it used to be an organization, and there's one other company, and so I have literature from the other two companies, and it's just sitting on my pile to get to. And they obviously, the other two companies also are really anxious, I called them one time, and now I get about every
Okay.
I get an email from
Okay.
them, are you gonna, so we will get to that this year. So we spent last year on we went through every single coverage and every single deductible and did a whole bunch of changes. And so that's what we did first. And now that we have what we like, now we can easily shop that out to the other two companies.
Any other? No. Motion to approve, I move that we approve that expenditure.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. The Snohomish County Special Operations Joint Policy Board, ILA. Chief?
Yeah, so we, District 4 has been an affiliate agency on this ILA since 2012. So they have two categories. They have affiliates. We pay a per capita into tech rescue and hazmat. And then they have another ILA for participating agencies. We're asking that we sign, you guys, the board, consider signing to make us a participating agency. Currently, we have, I think there's 5 organizations in the county that are in the participating agency, and all of their districts are in the affiliate. So with us anticipating having several members have enough training to actually join the tech rescue team, it would make sense that we would sign on as a participating agency, which opens up a seat on that board, a voting seat, and also additional training that our members would be able to participate in as a participating agency.
Is there a difference in the per capita cost?
No.
So I didn't put in there, but it's only a benefit, so the per capita doesn't change.
Yeah.
But once we have members on the
On
team,
the board.
the board pays for the training, not us.
Yeah.
And then if we have a call, we can recover costs for it if we're participating in, say, not if we're an affiliate. So the amount we pay in is no more, and the amount we get back goes from 0 to something.
Does it add to our workload in any way?
He has to be on the board.
Yeah, it'll be, they do.
Designate.
Yes.
They do a monthly board meeting, but there is a countywide tech academy that's going to happen this year, and I found out last week, and those are things that sometimes we miss out on because we don't have participating members in the team. So it'll open up another avenue.
Oh, cool.
And since we'll have trained members, they're going to be looped in on their training schedule, the zone training schedule. So all benefits.
So our cost is essentially the training of the members. Yeah, really our own cost.
Yeah.
Correct.
Commissioner? Oh, no.
It's pretty much
I noticed a couple of things in the actual document, and this is just a pet peeve of mine. You're going to have to bear with me here. Snohomish County Special Operations Joint Policy Board, also called the SOPB Board, right?
Yes.
So that's the Special Operations Policy Board.
Correct.
It's kind of like saying ER room
Correct.
and PIN number, right?
And VIN number.
Why do they do that? PIN number.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, yes, and the J is not an SOPD.
Yeah. Well, and as a housekeeping note, do you have that in front of you, Chief?
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
It looks like maybe there was a note to the editor or something. It's under 1.2.
Well,
It says make 1.2 a note, not a section.
well, we have something that's attached to the last bylaw that was found, so this might not be the actual most up-to-date one. We were trying to get that from the SOP board, and Jason had it made.
Okay, so the ILA will not use that exact language.
Maybe, I guess, this was sent out with the bylaws less than a year ago, so it shouldn't be much different, but that might have been the one that they were sending out.
I believe what you're looking at is the most recent copy.
Okay, look at section 3.1. You might want to make sure they change the date from
2012.
2012 to something more current.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. A motion to approve that?
I make a motion to approve the chief sign ILA on the resolution.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor? And lastly, February tours. What do we have scheduled?
We will first go to Gilbert Station 2 and look at their new.
Oh, this whole thing is about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Here's.
Oh, those tours, I'm thinking fire station.
No, different.
I'm with you.
And their infrastructure of the station, and then their new updated treatments.
And their electrical.
Yeah, the EV cheers pumper first, but their station has all the infrastructure for that, and then to the training center.
And the
Golf.
meeting agenda, any questions on Send it out to,
No, I haven't sent it out to everybody yet,
oh,
because I just updated it today.
okay.
That'll be tomorrow. Sorry, didn't know that we were,
It's all right.
okay.
I didn't know either. Because I thought tours was about a birthday
Yeah.
party or something. All right. Anything else? The staff reports.
I could start out with the operations report. So I provided you with a few significant alarms. I also added back into the report a January hours report to kind of show time off and how many work hours by each group and what category they were working in. I'd like to point out to the board that we do currently, unfortunately, have 2 members on modified or light duty or not available for regular assignment. So we are running a little bit short. 1 and 1. So we're running a little bit, not up to full strength on staffing currently. Under training, I'd like to give a couple shout outs. Captain Hammer, who's present, not just because he's present, but he recently completed his IPSAC Fire Instructor 2.
Congratulations.
Jose Islas has completed his acting officer credential and is going to take the upcoming lieutenant exam. And Cody Hunt has completed his acting driver credentials, which allows him to bump up and fill in for an engineer. We also have 5 employees next week testing for company officer, so that'll be done Wednesday. BC Withrow is going to kind of proctor that process.
Is that held here, or you do it
It'll be held at Station 40. We'll do the whole exam out there. We've been working a lot of hours have been put into prepping the Pine Avenue property for training activities. So thanks to Aaron and Daryl, our training division, linking up with Surfer and South County's training division, we got a lot of work being done down there by all 3 agencies, getting those buildings prepped. We had to wait for archaeology, we had to wait for asbestos abatement. Those 2, mostly minus the roof, have been completed, so they've been going to town down there, making props, and block training will start tomorrow, so we'll find out how well we constructed things.
How long that lasts.
Yeah, how long they last. So,
Do you get plywood or OSB?
Lots of OSB, lots of 2x4s.
It won't last long.
And we are, we'll start prepping here in the next week or 2 for the live fire, which will be a whole nother set of prepping the houses for that once the block training is completed. But I can't thank that group enough. They have really done some magic down there and have done a great job prepping those structures. We set up last week because of 3 agencies. You know, that's South County with 300 employees, Surfer with 200, us with 50, and different levels within each organization. It's just hard to get everybody on the same page at all levels. Get the instructor cadre on the same level as training with the ops chief. So we have set up a weekly sit rep meeting on Monday morning, so that'll be up and running all the way through live fire. So we did that this morning at 8:30, and that's been helpful to make sure everything's being communicated out. South County and Surfer have training division have keys to the property. They have access to the property, and we discussed that.
Will they be in there without us at times?
Yes, they absolutely have been offered to, and we, within reason, between 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock, if you want to have a unit down there, let's use it to the full potential. We've just asked those agencies to provide a site manager. So if South County's down there with 2 engines in a battalion, somebody's got to be down there from training as a site manager, so we don't push that off on our VCs to have to interrupt their day and go down and babysit. Yeah, our biggest concern is all the work that's been done down there to prep the structures, that a road company comes down there and decides they're gonna tear something apart, not knowing we're gonna burn that house, and we wanted the windows, and we wanted the roof to be intact until we say it's time to ventilate, so.
Sure.
But I believe we're all on the same page, and at least we got an open line of communication for that process, so it's just a lot of moving parts.
Have we targeted the neighbors there to let them know what's going on?
One round has already went out, with letting them know that we purchased the property, but we further, as we lead up to live fire, there'll be much more communication with the
How are we doing
knocking on doors.
that? Okay.
And,
And
there's also, I think,
the first round was handing out a QR code that explained it and sent them to had a link to our website that has all the information. So they have a QR code that gets them to the website that gives all the information we can keep update. And then when we post the live fire, when we have all the dates, Jason will be talking to the city Thursday to set up a meeting with the police and roads so that we can get a traffic plan, what's being closed, when it's being closed. When we have all that, we'll hit the neighbors that are affected again with that specific leaflet again, and the QR code again.
I'd encourage, for those people that don't do QR codes, do we have a printed document?
What we'll have, commissioners, we'll have a letter that has the dates, the times, and everything that we plan to do, and we'll hand deliver that, absolutely.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
It'll
Yes.
have actual information plus the QR code.
Yes, yep, all of it there.
Yeah, we didn't really have a lot of information, so the QR code was just saying, hey, go here and we'll get it, and as we get the actual facts, we'll handle stuff.
A lot of the block training up to live fire should be minimal impact, because they'll park on our property, and most passerby might see firefighters in the front yard with the hose line going inside the structure, but we're not going to have to take much room on the pine. But we'll communicate with the city, it's on our list this week to start our traffic and road closure process for the week that we do live fire.
And we do have
I just don't
two.
want to get us off on the wrong foot with our neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have things right across the road, and the neighbors are actually really excited about it. Watching.
We have been accosted by people in the Do It Center. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it?
Actually, I wanted to know the date. So
Do we know if any of the
Monday
neighbors
fire.
are,
Yes.
do we know if any of the neighbors are elderly?
There are a couple, yes, that we know of already.
This is just me, my only suggestion may be that we offer those folks maybe an N95 mask for particulates while we're burning, because some of the older folks aren't bothered by smoke particulates, and
Absolutely.
it being a good,
And we'll be looking at weather and all of that.
just offer it to everybody.
Yep,
Make sure that-
absolutely.
I think we have a few extra.
I would
Just a
guess
couple.
we probably have a couple.
Just a couple.
I'm pretty sure we got like a box car.
9 million?
So, yeah, we can offer those to all those folks then. And actually encourage you, if they're gonna be out watching that stuff, just put an out on it, because the particulates are not good for you. But we don't know what's in the smoke.
Don't say that.
No.
Anything else?
We had Fletcher Collins tested to join the water team. He successfully passed his entry level test, and so he'll be getting fitted for.
So we can swim in the kiddie pool at the aquatic center?
He's actually apparently a pretty good swimmer. So he did some swimming in school. So a great addition to the swim team. He's going to get fitted, so you might see a bill at a future commission meeting for some PPE. But he's going to get signed up for his classes. So
PPE with that
his
speedo or what?
Yeah.
Swim cap. Swim cap.
So that'll bring our water team up to 7. And, and
You have a target? How many people?
kind of level of interest right now, and actually we opened it up because we're gonna test for it, and he was the only one that put in. So right now, we're kind of probably in a happy place, but that doesn't mean in the future. I think I've heard there's others that are waiting to get off probation and a few other things done.
Wait for summer when the water.
Yeah.
You know, all it takes is one, water rescue call someplace, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
everybody wants to join something.
And then I would like to give, last thing I'll say, I listed it on here, but I have an update. Lieutenant Leedy has been engaged with the schools doing CPR at Glacier Peak in the high school, and we just today approved 2 additional instructors to go get trained, so that he's always stretched thin on those weeks teaching CPR, so he's recruited some more members, and we got at least two members going to an instructor class, so that we got some redundancy built in. So that's about all I have, unless you have any questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Just a few things. The most noteworthy, only one remarkable financial item, that was the $107,000 warrant you guys approved. Continuing to work with the state auditor on our annual audit and process. I just got back from vacation yesterday, so we'll be picking back up where I left off. And we've got a meeting, the introductory meeting this Wednesday. And then I'm still doing quite a bit of work in Springbrook, just categorization of financial stuff, mostly in payroll. It's fairly extensive, actually, a little more than I thought. So that's continued into February here, and I'll hopefully get that wrapped up by the end of the month. So that can be done. And the only thing you would see is maybe some formatting of reports and things like that that would maybe look a little bit different to you. But
I trust that all your effort will pay off in the long run.
it will. It really is for a GEMT reporting. The process for GEMT reporting, because it covers half of one year and half of another. And so grabbing that data and pulling it all out of the spreadsheets and working up what we need to do to, yeah, but it's worth $1 million a year to us, so
yes,
it's fairly valuable, well spent time. So this, hopefully, if I calculated things and done things right, it will save tons of time for years to come.
good.
Hopefully it's a good investment.
Are you done?
That's it.
Are you done?
That's it.
Okay.
I know, it's short and sweet.
I typed a whole lot for you. A couple of things. I want to just tag out with what Chief Hodkinson said about Aaron Hammer and Daryl Heike and John Stewart, Garrett Lane, the group that has been working with our 2 neighboring agencies to get this Pine Avenue property going is fantastic. Kudos. They've come together and done wonderful things. And in addition to Aaron getting his certification tomorrow, Daryl Heike does his practical for his instructor too, and he'll be done. He's already passed the written exam. Neil Bromley's already passed the practical exam. He's taking the written exam in about a week and a half, and then hopefully all 3 of them will have met that requirement and be done. But Aaron was first, so good job. I want to thank Christine Heike. She's been working with me on updating a whole bunch of things in safety. Our SDS program for safety data sheets, no more MSDS, and station mapping. How do you get out in an emergency? Go to this exit, making these really cool maps with arrows and stuff on them. It's like, how do you do that? But I'm really excited. We've got a brand new fire engine down in the apparatus maintenance bay right now. The radio is in it. They're down to fix, making sure that one headset works. Gary is working on the shelving, the turtle stuff that goes in the bottom, and then putting the mounts in for some of our tools to get that rig ready so we can hopefully plan a push-in ceremony in the very near future for the brand new Engine 41. We've got all of the parts this past week finally have come in for Brush 43 and our 2 Colorados to get those in service, the lights, the siren, the radio, chargers, everything else on those rigs is done. So I'm really looking forward to getting all of these rigs in service, surplusing this last one. Our surplus sale, I think, went really well. Everybody's wanting to know what the old brush truck was going to go for. It sold for $17,300 on the auction. So it was a battle, and it kept going up and up, and I couldn't believe it, but it was good. So we did real well with the things that we surplused. So very happy about that. And in the newspaper, sitting on the kitchen table today, was an article about the lack of snowpack and the potential for dangerous wildfires again in our state and then beyond. So we are gearing up. It's never too early, working with our wildland team to make sure that our people are trained and certified and our apparatus are ready to go when fire season is upon us. So that is a work in progress. And I emailed all three of you kind of a huge list. And I've personally done a really poor job of tracking everything our people do out with our community outreach and our public education. That is now fixed. We've got a great form from Aaron Hammer and his group. And as long as we remember to get that form filled out, it goes into the computer. And at the end of the year, I'll be able to tell you and report that we've done this many events. Our people put this many hours back into the community at those events. So I'm happy with that now. But an extensive list of the things we do, and then we always have the ad hoc or the people that call up and say, will you do this? And most of the time the answer is yes, and I want to keep doing that. But our people out in the public is fantastic.
That's good interaction.
It is, and it's a lot of fun, usually for everybody. Any questions about any of the other stuff on there?
The new engine, are there any significant differences in driving and pumping the engine than the existing one that we need to?
There's really not.
Okay.
Pretty standard.
The BC Witherell was the lead on that build. You can probably answer that.
Nothing, the wheelbase, the pump panel layout. I understand there were some questions about where levers were in correlation to cross lays and stuff. They're all identical. All of our Spartans are laid out the same wheelbase. A little bit different cab concepts, but as far as maneuverability and driving, no additional training required.
I did have a question on the L&I fire program.
Yes.
You made mention here that you and Lieutenant Jorby met with Brett Olson
Correct.
regarding L&I providing a supplemental check versus a discounted rate.
Yeah.
Can you explain?
Good question. Yeah. And Lieutenant Jorby's on there. He's part of our safety committee, but he's our local president as well. So when we have these meetings, and it was a virtual meeting, what L&I's program for the fire program is they give a 10% discount in our L&I rate as an agency. So they're into their third year now, our second year, but the program's third year. And the people that run this side of L&I are doing a survey, and they're putting out feelers. Would it be better to continue the 10% discount, or would it be better to charge the normal rate and at the end of the year write a rebate check back to the fire district? So that's what that's about.
Okay.
And they're exploring that right now. No decision's been made. So right now, that I believe we're still in the 10% discount.
We are.
Yes. Yep. But that may change in the future, and that would be an L&I decision, but with input from all of the participants.
I wonder what the difference to L&I would be.
That's kind of what my question was. Why would you even consider
Never
this?
the one to cut a check to you.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have the money.
In a very efficient manner.
Yeah.
I can probably answer for that. I'd rather take a 10% discount than try to figure out how to code the check back in.
Absolutely. Yes.
Exactly
Yes.
what I was thinking.
Yep. So
Trying to incentivize it.
our recommendation was the 10% is great if we could just keep that. So that was our input so far. But the program's been fantastic for me to work with, for me to learn, and then work regionally. We're part of a 3-county regional health and safety group as well, in addition to the county group. So it's been really good.
Cool. Anything else? Chief?
I had a question.
Oh.
Sorry, we passed over the engine. I saw that
Oh, yeah.
the fire engine had a new color scheme. Is that the new color scheme that we're going to be going with? Is that, I see that the upper portion is like more of a gray color.
That's our new standard moving forward.
That's the new standard. Okay. Then another thing is, I saw that there was no CDAs in the seat. We're moving to the clean cap concept. Is that going to affect not response times, but like actual getting out the door and doing work?
I do not believe so. I've operated that way for a that you can get out of the cab and get your air pack and tools and PPE on just as faster that way. There's no place I think where you can get off of the truck and not go somewhere to get something. And so if it's set up right, it should not affect your response there.
But you can wear bunker gear inside of the rig?
Yeah. Yes. It's not
just the air pack?
Yeah. So we won't be storing the bunker gear in the rig, in the cab. It'll be stored in the compartments. But when they put it on to go a fire, they'll be wearing it. And so the best practices out there is it's not the 10 minutes you're in the cab when you're riding the fire. It's the off-gassing of having an air pack sitting in there for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, those slowly off-gases would build up the concentration in the cab. So keeping the stuff out of it, that's what is the clean cab. Because it off-gases up from the SUV or the bunker you're storing in the cab, and it permeates into the seats and the headliner. Right? And so we're trying to store everything in the compartment. It doesn't mean you can't get into the cab with your bunker gear. It just means we don't store it in the cab, limiting that off-gassing, limiting that permeability into the cab.
Would there be any point where you say that it didn't work out the way that you thought it was going to work out, that you would move back to doing how it's traditionally been done?
Well, I would say yes, but I spent 20 years with airbags not in the cabin, and I'm really a firm believer in it's not going to affect it, because I've seen hundreds of fires and many trucks that operate that way, and it doesn't slow it down. And my belief is we either have to take firefighter health and safety seriously and make an effect on it, or we don't. And to me, this is one of the most serious things that we can do to make sure that we're treating the firefighters appropriately. And we can, once they get trained, I would be happy to do time drills with other people from park at the front door, because I haven't seen a difference at all that's substantial in any way. And so even if you beat it 5 seconds, is that worth dying of cancer? So my mission since I've been in the fire service since it started happening is to take this firefighter health and safety of cancer seriously. And I have a personal story to tell you, and to me this is that important. And we have to show how important that is to our firefighters and lead by example. So that's why we went that route, and that's why I will always champion that, because I think it is important and is definitely worth the benefit of anything. And again, it's all about, and I've talked to the committee, it's all about setting up your rig to make logical sense of where everything is and make it as quick and as seamless as possible, that all your gear is in one spot, all your tools are in one spot, so you open the gear, you get your SUV, your helmet, your tools, and you're off to the fire. So we do not want to have any impact on our aggressive operations, but we can do this with having limited to no impact and a huge impact on the firefighter safety.
Mr. Chair, if I can come back real quick. 2 things. I put on here, our maintenance guy, Gary, is the main cook down at the senior center. Last Saturday, or the first Saturday of the month, was Blueberry Pancake Day. And it was phenomenal. They had about 180 people. They're getting almost to record numbers now. They know he's the cook. And he comes in with these bags of blueberries, and they absolutely love it. So that was fantastic. Commissioner Erickson was down there for a while with us. And then lastly, they hadn't done it yet. Go ahead. What's that?
Are we paying for the blueberries? We don't want to hear it after.
We are not.
Or is that gifting of public funds?
Gary is a master, and he works with a couple of the people down there now because they just expect that he's going to come down and be the chef, and everybody expects that. So they have some stuff going on, and he loves it, and they love it, and the people really enjoy it. And second of all, the chaplains, the You Are Not Alone program that they were involved with as part of a larger group, expected 200 participants at their event, the You Are Not Alone event, and they ended up with over 400 participants. And 3 counties now are asking that the core group that put that on to come do it in 3 other counties. So it's just amazing,
It
absolutely
shows you
amazing.
the extent of that problem.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And how people are concerned about how to get a handle on it.
Yeah, so it was good. Thank you.
For me, I think the biggest thing is we're working with the city, the school district to kind of integrate all the stuff that we did with the city over in LVD because they are also a partner in this property, is the traffic patterns. And we use, I don't know if everybody knows, but the whole place with the generator and support 43, that whole area is actually all city property, not our property. I mean, city, school district property. So we're working on no documentation of this, so we're just working on an easement that allows us to keep using the property that we've been using, but make it all official. And then we're also working with the school district, they own all the fiber everywhere. And so we're gonna try to get their fiber, and the county uses their fiber for the main interface to dispatch. And so we have that, but we don't, that's all we have. So the 2 new stations we're gonna try to get, if the school district agrees, their internet fiber there too, so that we have that as a potential backup if our normal internet goes down.
Stretching it down to 41
Yeah, so right,
from the Aquatic Center?
it's at the old Avery Pool right now, so it's a half a block away.
Okay, right across.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the pool.
And the police
Yeah, Hatwell Pool.
station, the police station needs it for the city hall, so the city would have to bring it there anyway, so it'll take us almost nothing to get it to our station. And it's the training annex right now, and so it's almost already right there. So we have it basically there. We just didn't ever understand. We knew we were using the county there, but we didn't know it was actually the county was using the school districts. So now we can get another pair that we can kind of have as a just a redundant backup. Yeah.
Redundancy is good.
Yeah. So that, and then working with doing a lot of EMS in the county between the NPD and the city's task force. We're pretty involved in the county level EMS trying to move it forward. So that's my biggest part.
I saw the letter that you contributed.
Yeah.
Commissioner. Yeah. Good work, the team out there at Rossford. Whoever that was on Union 42. It's good stuff.
Yeah, there was a post in Facebook that was posted from somebody that I personally know, that they were involved in an accident. The speeding driver actually sideswiped them as they were getting ready to turn into their driveway. And that person ended up running their van into a tree. And so the post basically commented on how efficient the teams were in performing extrication and getting that person out of the van, because they wrapped the van halfway around the tree. And so it was a pretty involved extrication. So it's nice that our firefighters and the firefighters we work with are able to see that kind of stuff. They understand that the citizens do see that kind of stuff and do appreciate the work that we do and understand how efficient we really are. So
Lieutenant Kenton Lucky was incident command on that call for us and did a great job. I listened to the call.
yeah.
Lucky Mazzelli and Dodd.
Yeah.
So
I like the terminology this person used. It was like watching a very well orchestrated, highly skilled professional team with military precision.
That's pretty good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Just so that cool.
There you go. There you go.
Anything else?
Oh, I have nothing.
Anything for you, sir? Okay, I have nothing either. Any other comments from the public?
I was wondering if the carpet in the training annex, if that maybe has asbestos as a sealant on the bottom? Did anybody check that?
The 90s they were using asbestos.
I don't know how old the building is or.
Yeah, it's like mid-90s.
Two.
It's That's fine.
Anything else? Being no further business with the commission, this meeting is adjourned.
Time, sir?
19:58.
Thank you.
I will do that if I have